Appreciate that. So today we are talking about intentional living, winner's mindset, achieving goals, and it relates to health and fitness, but it relates to everything in your life, anything that you have ever decided you wanted to achieve. So I appreciate everything. Hi on Facebook live stream, and today we're going to just jump right in. This right here, this template is something that I use with almost all of my clients when I first meet with them, just to find out what it is in their life that is not really going great and what they'd like to address. And then we come over here and we start to create the perfect model of what it is that we want in our lives rather than what it is that we have. Okay? So that's where you'll get that template, you take a look at that, you kind of start thinking about those and processing those things through. What are some of the emotional states that we find ourselves in that we dislike? Anger. Anger's a good one. What else?
Jealousy.
What's that one?
I think it was, let's go. Fear.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Anxious.
Anxiety.
Sadness.
Right. What else? Jealousy. What else?
Uncomfortable.
What is, get a little more deep into that. What do you mean? What makes you feel uncomfortable?
Certain situations, certain environments.
Okay, so you're not talking about like I'm too cold, I'm too hot, uncomfortable.
I call that anxiety. It could be wrong, but I just
You would call it that? What,
depression? Is
okay.
that a...
Yeah, we have that. Okay. What else? Uncomfortable's fine. I just want to kind of...
Yeah, I don't really know.
Okay.
I think I live in a state of uncomfortable, so I call that anxiety. Introvert.
Exactly, I get it.
Yeah.
Anything else that you find yourself almost like I'm in this emotional state and I dislike it?
Lack of control.
Okay, so whenever you feel out of control, what would you call that?
Helpless.
Helpless. I like that. Helpless. What else?
Lost.
Lost.
Confused.
Confused.
That's constant.
Depends on the topic, right?
At least we have to
Awesome.
stay
So,
far all the time.
any of these states, is there anything that these states can do for you positively?
Yes.
Okay, so give me an example of what does anger do for you in a positive way?
Survival.
Survival, right? So if you have anger, that could be connected to a survival instinct, right? What about fear? What can fear do for you?
Take action.
Keeps you safe,
Exactly.
protects you, right?
Fight.
What about anxiety? What can anxiety do for you that's good?
Not a damn thing.
Yeah. It makes you hide under the bed.
Makes you hide under the bed. So
Not a good
Maybe prepared.
Self-care.
if you're anxious, you're kind of obsessing about things sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So if you're obsessing about things, if you're really anxious about it, it could help you be prepared, like you really analyze this, right? So maybe you could be prepared. What about sadness? What does sadness do for you?
Makes you appreciate something you've lost.
Okay, so you get gratitude sometimes out of sadness. So you can appreciate. Value things. Okay, what about jealousy? What can that do for you that helps you?
Create action, right? Yeah. Like
So you
jealous,
protect
create a goal to
Yeah.
change what you have.
You change
so that you can achieve and get what somebody else has. So this is more like jealousy of what somebody else has, not like a relationship type jealousy?
Could be both.
Could be both, right? So it could give you drive if you're wanting what somebody else has, but what could it make you do if it's a relationship?
Well, we're in a relationship. You don't want somebody else.
You don't want somebody else to take it, right? So you have value for that person. So jealousy sometimes can add value to a relationship in some way. What about depression? What can depression do for you that's positive?
It can cause you to seek help.
Okay, so and what's that? What's good about help?
It can help you make positive changes in your life.
Okay, so if you experience depression, it could cause you to make changes, right? So you could alter your, I would say, existence. That's what I would say. It can help you alter your existence, change the way that you're living. Do we have to are we seeing that we're having to really kind of make our brain come up with ways that this could be a positive thing? Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's so difficult to create positive things attached to negative emotions?
Because in a lot of those, I feel that it's
kind of like you're kind of hopeless.
Right? When you're angry, are you ever actually thinking about that?
No.
No, right? If you're afraid, are you actually thinking about that? No. So the emotional state right now, the reason that we have these feelings associated with it is because these aren't cognitive states. These are states we find ourselves in. We're not thinking about the good things it does for us because we're just feeling the negativity. So in order for us to get the positive things out of these, we have to shift our emotional state. You have to be in a different emotional state than this to understand what it can do for you. In other words, anger only can be a survival mechanism and only works in your benefit if you're using it to your advantage. If you're in control of the anger. If it's not happening to you, but you're happening to it. You're allowing it in a situation because you need it. What's a situation where you might need anger?
About to have a fight,
Sure.
defend yourself, protect yourself.
Absolutely. Does it benefit you occasionally to let somebody know that they just did something that pissed you off? What if it's controlled anger? Is it more powerful?
No such thing.
If you show anger, but you're not really angry, is that a more powerful place than actually being angry?
Yes.
So the only way that these things do positive things for us is if we're thinking about it.
And I would use confused in my world because I could act confused and not really be confused.
Absolutely, yeah, we use it, and why? Why would that help? Why, if we show confusion to others, what happens?
They try to explain.
They try to rush to our aid, right? It creates this teamwork. But if I'm actually confused, will I notice anybody helping me? Not at all, right? I won't get any of that positivity. So these emotional states that we find ourselves in have positive things that they can do for us, but only if we acknowledge that we have to know that we're in those states in order to get anything good out of them. So, positive emotional states. Positive emotional states. What do we think of there?
Happiness.
Happiness. So, if you're happy, that's a good state. If you're joyful, that's a good state. What else?
Excited. Sorry.
Content. Excited.
Clarity, clear.
Oh yeah. Clarity. What else?
Safe.
Safety. Sure. Secure.
Control.
Control.
Really, you want control?
Of myself, not others.
There you go.
Self-control.
So independence. Is that kind of the same thing? Independence and control. I said security. I like that one. How many of you guys want to feel fulfilled? How many of you want to feel powerful?
Confident.
Confident, right?
Sexy.
There you go.
Yeah. I want to feel sexy, probably.
I like it. Okay. Anything negative that happiness can do for you?
Yep.
Like
Ignore real situations, real
Okay.
problems.
Yep. So you ignore facts, ignore data,
Ignore red flags.
red flags. Yeah, we just kind of put all that stuff off to the side, right? What about joy?
Piss everyone off around you that's not joyful.
There you go. Right? Yeah. So you push others away, right? It does. What about being content? Is there anything negative that being content? Complacency, right? Absolutely. Do you guys see why the stories that we tell ourselves about everything? We tell ourselves stories, and if you are not in control of the story, you end up being a victim of what these emotional states do, either positive or negative. You have to be in control of the outcome. So if you want happiness, it has to be connected to a certain outcome. Hey, Omar. It has to be connected to a certain outcome that you want. So emotional states aren't good enough. We can't just think, I want clarity. We can't just think, I want joy. We can't just think, I want happiness. We have to have outcomes in mind. What's that going to produce for me? How does it look when I am happy and I'm having the positive outcomes I want? Because happiness isn't good enough. These emotional states aren't powerful until you think about what they're going to get you.
Okay, maybe I explain that.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question. When you said explain it differently, when I'm talking about emotional states, what's one that you know you want to feel?
Content.
Content, great. So, we said just a minute ago that being content can actually cause complacency in some people. So for you, what will being content actually result in? Will it result in complacency for you?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so then when you say content, are you actually thinking of being content, or is that also connected to something else? Like, you want positive outcomes from being content, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then what else do you need in the content bag that goes along with being content to make sure you don't get complacent?
Okay, so let me tell you what I think when I think,
Okay.
why for me content is important.
Perfect.
Because until recently, I felt like I was constantly chasing something.
Okay.
So like I was constantly in the future.
Sure.
And so that's why like now being content is important for me.
Helps you live in the moment,
Yes,
in the now,
yes,
which is great. But you don't want to get complacent, right?
yeah.
So then what about being content have you added to that makes sure that you're not complacent, but that you live in the now?
I mean, I still have goals.
Sure. So even though you're content, that content helps you achieve goals?
Yes,
You have a purpose?
yeah,
Sure. So then you're fine with being content as long as you don't lose track of your goals,
yeah,
because that keeps you from being complacent.
yeah,
So we have action that's attached to emotional state.
okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to have activity that's connected with that emotional state. It's not just okay to be like, yay, I'm super motivated. To do what? To do what? I'm super excited about life. Okay, and what's that going to help you do? How's that going to help you achieve things? So we love positive emotional states, but positive emotional states have to be connected to something real. Okay? So when you're thinking about being content and these goals, what do those goals look like? What types of goals do you have that you want to achieve?
And so how detailed do you want to get?
How detailed do you want to get?
Well, I want to become a full-time speaker and coach.
Cool. So you'll be a full-time speaker and a coach. And do you believe that being content and having that goal, do you feel like that will help you get there? Or
Yeah.
what else do you need? What other positive emotional states are you going to need to make sure that you're able to do that?
Drive.
You'll need to be driven, right? So you'll have to have drive. What does that look like for you? What does that mean?
It's a little bit confusing because
Sure.
I'm trying to balance myself because usually I'm too much into like the doing and
Right.
too much into the action. And
Right.
So now I'm more of like, I guess, what's the word? Inspired action. Taking inspired action and just like allowing things to unfold without me like
Okay.
making them.
Okay. So is it okay with you if this never unfolds? Or are you actually being intentional about wanting that?
No, I'm being intentional.
Okay, so certain things it's okay if they unfold, but other things you're very intentional. You want those things.
Yeah.
So I only care about that.
Okay.
I know that there's going to be things that just unfold in your life that I can't know about and you can't know about. Cool with that. But I want to know more about the stuff that you do know you want. Okay? So what about drive and being content? What else are you looking for to achieve? Full-time speaker, what else you want to do?
Oh, what else other than?
Yeah, your goals. What do you want to achieve?
Oh, well, I want to be married.
Okay, great. Well, and we most of the time with neurolinguistic programming, we always focus on what we can do ourselves.
Okay.
This is under your control.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily find a way
Oh,
to
come
make
on.
the emotional states have that outcome for you
Okay.
in a real way. Because we don't know, I mean, do you know who it is?
Reminds me of Aladdin the genie. I
I'm
can't
like,
make somebody fall
oh
in
my
love with you.
God.
Sure. So do you already kind of know who you're looking at?
No.
Okay, so then really that's something that we can't really focus much attention on it because we don't even know what that outcome's going to look like. And really, do you want to dictate that outcome? Or is it better for that to be one of the things that just kind of unfolds?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then I'm mostly wanting stuff like this. That's real.
Because even if you say, I want to be a good wife, like you don't know what that looks like to that spouse.
There you go.
You just have to focus on yourself, right?
Boom.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
So then what else do you want? What type of outcomes, what types of goals do you want? Your mindset, okay, your emotional state of being content, being balanced, but also being driven, what's that going to get for you? That's okay. We'll move on and we'll come back, all right? So one of the most important things about goal setting and achieving goals and having a winner's mindset is first you find the emotional states that are important to you, the ones that matter. I really like being motivated and I really like feeling like I'm a helper. So that's kind of one of those emotional states is that I constantly want to be helping. Like I'm looking always, how can I help? How can I insert myself? So that's my emotional state, is that I almost feel like I don't have a purpose without that.
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? So that's my emotional state.
Okay, so then connected and making a difference would be two other ones.
Okay, so you want to make a difference, and in what way do you want to make a difference?
We're kidding. Okay, so like I want to help girls and women just feel empowered and in control of their circumstances and not victim of.
Why? What does it look like whenever you do that for people?
That they can have and live an empowered life and in control versus just
Sure.
feeling like life happens to them.
And so whenever that you see that happen, you see that click, what about that is even important to you?
Making a change is like making a change in someone's life.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, I just made a change in your life.
Making a positive change.
Making a positive change in someone's life. Okay, so what do you mean whenever you say I'm making a positive change? What happens to them? Whenever you make them feel empowered, whenever you help girls and women, why is that so important to you? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you experience whenever that moment happens?
Joy, happiness.
Joy, happiness, and all those things are important to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that makes you feel joyful, makes you feel happiness,
Do you get fulfillment out of it?
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel fulfilled. Great. So then, what about being content, driven, having balance, what helps you and fuels you to be able to do that? How does that emotional state make sure that you can do that?
I don't understand.
That's okay. Sometimes I have to reword them several times. Is it okay if I try again?
Yes, please.
So these are your emotional states that you have placed importance upon. Being content, being driven, having balance. Those things are awesome. How do you see those emotional states bridging that gap? How are those things going to be able to help you do this? Hang on, Hannah, don't help her yet. She's there.
Well, so usually I was driven from a negative.
Right? And I'm asking you to think about the empowerment of women and girls.
Yeah.
And think about that outcome being something that you desire, being a full-time speaker, all things that you desire. And when you think about those things and you consider that outcome, I'd like to know what it is about these emotional states that have convinced you that that's the way to get there.
I mean, because the other option is not fun.
What's the other option?
Being driven by the negative emotion.
Okay, so it's okay to be driven, but you want to be driven toward the outcome that you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So you believe that that's going to help you get there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, whenever you think about it and you are able to really put down on paper the outcomes that you want, what types of situations do you see yourself being able to help women and girls get out of?
You want specific stuff?
Only if it matters to you.
Okay, so like, so women who are seeking approval.
Okay, so you want to help them connect with what? So that they're not seeking approval?
Their
Or
true values.
Okay, so you want women to feel valued.
Yeah.
Okay, and so whenever you're able to do that, what do you see change in people?
They start making decisions and living based on what they truly want.
Awesome. Very cool. And what does that do for you whenever you're able to do that for others?
Feels good.
Feels good, right?
Yeah.
You feel joy, happiness, fulfilled?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to set an emotional anchor to the states that Pascal wants to be the main driver of her life, okay? If she's able to maintain these emotional states, she's able to see herself getting these outcomes. And whenever she sees herself getting these outcomes, what does that produce? More emotional states. So by anchoring and re-anchoring our limbic system to the outcomes we want, we create a winner's mindset. We begin to live intentionally this way. We see ourselves doing this. We see ourselves doing that. And what does that produce for us? Joy, happiness, and being fulfilled. Does that seem like that is what you want? And the types of outcomes you want?
Yeah.
Okay, so then whenever you consider this person that does this and acts this way, an image will come to your mind. Now, all of you so far have not taken the time yet to start focusing yet on what it is that are your emotional states, what it is that are your outcomes and goals. But if you could right now start to put yourself here, you'd see in your own mind that there's a version of you that steps up. There's a picture in your head that you see doing those things. Being this person that's a full-time speaker, helping girls and women feel empowered. You see this person in your head. It's vivid, it's clear. That person should be protected in a room in your mind. I mean a physical room. And then any time that you are in one of those emotional states that we talked about that we don't like, instead of trying to get out of that emotional state, you step into the room with this person. In your mind, you go into that room and you begin looking at them and thinking about what it is that they want, what it is that they'll achieve, what it is that they'll do, because what this does is it gets you out of that negative emotional state into this state. When you start to see that person in your mind, your mirror neurons start to activate, especially when you see them doing activity, when you see them full-time speaking, when you hear them in your mind. You step into that room with that person, and very literally, that person begins to be the champion that you need. And it's more powerful than any other champion you've ever seen, any other archetype, any other hero that you've ever heard of. Why? Because it's based upon the things that matter most to you. But unless you've ever sat down and created this character and actually connected with who you are in your mind, the champion that you want to be, it means nothing. So now I want everybody to go ahead and, on a sheet of paper, I want you to write down the character traits, not the character traits, sorry, the emotional states that you want to feel most often. Okay? So you want to write down emotional states that you want to feel. These are some of the ones that matter to me. And so I'm going to write them down. You don't have to use my words. You can use your words. But I want 3 to 5 emotional states that make you feel empowered, make you feel strong, make you feel like the hero that you want running your life. What's most important? What do you want people to walk away from a conversation and go, wow, that dude was confident. He was what? She was what? That's me. So you have ones that are going to pop into your head. Some of them are going to be mine. That's fine. But it's important that you build this character out. I know what this guy looks like. I've been talking to him in my head for so many years now. He's the guy who runs my ship. He's the guy that drives my bus. Now, when I think of these emotional states, I have an image that automatically pops in my head of who I am. It exists in a room within my mind. I see this guy, he's wearing a suit, and he's clean cut, smiling, strong, confident, and helping people. I see myself helping people, and I don't mean just in any way. I mean, I specifically see myself getting people and pulling them out of the ruts of their life, out of the ditches that they found themselves stuck in. I see this guy physically doing it, and he's getting mud on his suit and he doesn't care. That's who this guy is. He's a people's champion, okay? Now you have something that exists inside of your head that's very, very similar to that. There's a person, there's a being there that exists that is your champion. And I want you to really think about that. I want you to focus on that picture and make it vivid, make it big, and make it clear. Because that's the person who's going to be driving our bus from now on. That's going to be the intentional living person that we have running our lives. All right, so once you've made your list, have you made your list, Hannah?
I think so.
What have you got?
Secure.
Secure.
Happy.
Okay.
Knowledgeable. Helpful and confident.
Happy, knowledgeable, and confident. Is that the last one?
Helpful.
Helpful. Was confident even on there?
Yes.
Okay. Helpful. Awesome. So now, whenever you consider this person, do you have something that pops in your mind?
Yeah.
Okay, you do, right? You got an idea, image of you. What are you wearing in that image?
Actually, a business suit.
Okay, great. You're wearing a business suit. Do you see yourself standing in an office, in a room? Where do you see yourself in your mind?
Outside.
Outside, on the beach, in the mountains, grass.
No, it's weird. I'm just standing there like posing. Like,
Okay, fantastic. Almost like for a headshot picture or something, right?
Kind of.
Okay,
yeah.
great. So whenever you think about this person, and she's secure, she's happy, she's knowledgeable, she's confident, she's helpful, those are all the emotional states that make her up, right? What do you see her doing because of that?
Like,
What's her goals? What is she doing with this security, with this happiness, with this knowledge, with this confidence? How's she being helpful?
by helping others.
In what way?
By giving.
Okay, so you see this person giving
Yes.
of themselves.
Yes.
In what way? Monetarily?
Both.
Okay.
Monetarily, financially.
Okay, so you
with
see
service.
yourself being able to hand out big wads of cash?
Yeah.
Is that this person? Okay. What else? What else do you see
Giving.
yourself doing?
Oh,
What else is this champion doing?
enjoying life.
Enjoying life in what way? How does she enjoy life?
Not needing.
Okay.
anything,
Not being needy.
Yes.
Okay. What's the opposite of being needy? Positively stated. What type of goals do you see this person doing?
Not being needy is, in my mind, secure.
Okay.
Is that-
Independent, secure,
Yes.
independent,
Yeah, independent is better.
self-sufficient.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you see,
Yeah.
you see this person also being self-sufficient,
Mhm.
also being independent
Yes.
and strong.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we know now how she interacts with herself and how she feels about herself. We know what she's doing for others and helping give back to them. What is she doing day to day? How is she interacting with people? Are people drawn to her?
Yes.
They are, right?
Yes.
So she's kind of like a magnet.
Yes.
All right. Now, when you start to imagine this person, what is it about that person that's even appealing?
The confidence, honestly.
The confidence, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you were able to be this person in every situation, in every circumstance, would your life improve?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, I would be able to do the things that I see her doing.
Absolutely.
I would be financially secure. I would be not in need of anything.
Okay, great. So now whenever you consider that and you think about that, is it okay to let her drive?
Well, yeah.
Is it okay to let her take over from here?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the future, what types of behaviors in the past did you see yourself doing that no longer are you going to be able to because this person's in control?
What things I'm no longer going to be doing.
That's right.
Like stressing about.
You're not going to be able to, right?
Right.
So what will happen automatically? What will this person do?
Be happier.
So whenever that stress starts to creep in, what do you think she's going to do?
Not worry about it.
How? Why wouldn't she worry?
Because she's driving, so she doesn't.
What's she going to do instead? I mean, she used to worry. She used to stress. What's she going to do now?
Just go out and get it done.
Go out and get it done. And when you think about that, does that put you more in a position of power?
Yes.
Does that make you feel more self-sufficient
Yes.
and independent?
Yes.
Is it okay to be that person?
Yes.
It really is, isn't it?
Yes.
I can see it all over your face. She's lit up. All right, let's do this with someone else. Omar, talk to me, man. What are your words?
Humble,
Humble, okay. What else?
cares, inspiring, empower, loving, badass,
Badass. Love it.
confident, knowledgeable, and structured.
Knowledgeable. Structured. Okay. Now, those are emotional states that whenever you feel like a badass, whenever you feel confident, but loving and caring and humble, whenever you think about those emotional states, what picture pops in your mind? Do you have something automatically that's a version of you that's those things? Okay, whenever you think about it, is it real, vivid, and clear, or is it kind of blurry?
I can make it clear.
Okay, then make it clear. What's he wearing?
The blue suit, red tie,
Blue suit, red tie. Standing in a room, standing in a field, where you at?
speaking to others.
You're speaking to others, right? So whenever you see yourself doing that and speaking to others, it makes you feel more like a badass, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even more confident, even more knowledgeable, even more structured, yes?
Mhm.
Now, whenever you consider that, why is that a good thing? Why would that be something positive in your life?
Because it makes me feel like also I'm growing, but I'm also giving back.
Okay, so if you're doing that, you'd be growing but also giving back.
Mhm.
Okay, what about that's good?
That I'm fulfilling a purpose.
So that will make you feel like you're fulfilling a purpose. And if you're fulfilling a purpose, what does that enable you to do?
Do it even more.
Do it even more. So now as you consider that person doing those things, why do you think that that would even be something that you'd like to have that guy driving your bus? Why would you like that guy to be running your life?
Then I'll be living life.
You'll actually be living. And what are you doing right now?
Survive.
Right. So, when you think about this guy, in the blue suit with the red tie, speaking to others, helping other people, giving back, and also growing, and that guy's living. Do you see him?
That's beautiful, by the way. Living instead of surviving.
You see him living clear and vivid? What are you no longer going to be able to do now that this guy is going to be the guy driving your bus, running your life, making your decisions, interacting with others?
Focus on the things that are not serving me.
Okay, so you will no longer focus on the things that are not serving you, the things that are negative. You'll be incapable of that, won't you? Why? What about this guy makes it impossible for you to do that? Don't forget about him. Blue suit, red tie. He's speaking to others. What is it about him that makes it impossible for you to focus on the things that aren't serving you?
That he takes over.
He does.
Yeah.
When he takes over, how does he do it?
He finds a way, depending on the situation.
Depending on the situation, he will have the knowledge, he'll have the structure, he'll have the confidence, and he's badass enough to get it done, right? So is it okay to move on from focusing on the things that aren't serving you?
Absolutely.
It is, right? Ready for this guy to drive?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. That's a winner's mindset, and you've just created it. Okay? Emotional states, the ones we want, the outcomes, what we see ourselves being able to achieve, the hero that's inside of our mind. That's the intentional living that I want you doing from now on, and it's easy because you just created that guy. The character exists in your mind, not mine. So he's the only one that can drive from your perspective. Okay? Does that make sense? Who wants to go next? Anybody? Start giving me words.
We're all scared now.
What's scary about it? What type of emotional states do you want? What's good for you?
I'll go.
Okay.
Motivated.
Motivated.
Excited.
Okay.
Inspired/inspiring.
I like that, both of them.
Confident. Powerful. Presence. Fearless.
Like it. Okay, and whenever you say that, fearless, inspiring, inspired, motivated, excited, confident, do you have something that pops in your head? A version of you that is that person?
I do.
You do, great. And what's she wearing?
She's wearing a suit too.
Okay, great.
It's bright red.
Bright red, I like it. Awesome. Very nice. And whenever you see this person, what does she immediately make you feel?
Scared.
Why? This is important, guys. No, what she just said is super important. This is why people can't do this. This is why people don't actually connect with their champion. Why?
I'm not sure why.
Okay.
I feel like I used to be that person.
Uh-huh. And what happened?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Menopause.
Okay, menopause happened. Great. What else?
To be honest, yeah.
Okay, fine.
I'm not sure what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
she just kind of disappeared.
okay, and so are you afraid that she's going to do that again?
No, I'm afraid I can't find her again.
Okay. Well, you just did. She's wearing a red suit. You're the only one who found her. I didn't. She's motivated. She's excited. She's inspiring. She's inspired. She's confident. She's powerful, and she's fearless. And she's wearing a red suit. I don't know any of that. You do. So you never lost her. She's there. She never went anywhere. So whenever you think about her now, what about that? What do you feel about her now? It's okay. Go ahead. It's good. This is powerful stuff.
I'm not sure.
Okay? Do you like her?
Yeah.
Are you proud of her? What do you see her being able to do that you can't do now?
It's vague, but just kind of go out and get what she wants.
I don't think it's vague at all, but we will actually build on it, okay? Now, when you see her being able to go out and get what she wants, how do you think that that would affect your life first?
It would make you feel better about yourself.
Sure. And then whenever you feel better about yourself,
Then you go do it more.
there you go. And then when you find yourself doing it more, what's the second area that it's going to affect?
Everything else, it's going to make you more successful.
More successful in business or?
Whatever it is you're doing.
Okay.
Business or life.
Okay, so you see her in this red suit, and you see her doing business more successfully, feeling good about herself.
Mm-hmm.
How is she able to do that?
By talking to more people.
Okay, so she'll be able to communicate and talk more freely, openly,
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing?
Right. Be more
And-
dynamic.
Yeah, a little bit more dynamic, right? When you see yourself doing that, you see Ruth in the red suit, taking charge and being kind of the hero. How does that make you feel?
Feels good.
Feels good, right? Scared anymore?
A little.
A little? Is it okay to get rid of that?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
What part of that person that you've been talking about, what way would she get beyond that fear?
One thing I've always say is feel the fear and do it anyway.
Feel the fear and do it anyway. So she's okay with feeling a little bit scared.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. So now that you connected with that, do you want to get rid of that fear?
Yes.
You still want to get rid of it. Okay, so then the
Well,
root,
maybe not get rid of it, but just ignore it or get past it.
ignore it or get past it. So Ruth in the red suit, How would she do that?
Plan what she's gonna do and just get out and do it.
Okay, and how does she plan?
Just it makes decisions, you know, this is what I'm gonna do this week, it's, this is who I'm gonna talk to, and this is how it's gonna go.
Perfect. Now that you see yourself being able to do that, and that person being able to actually talk to more people, not even feel that fear, and ignore it entirely, what does that empower you to do?
Just keep doing it.
Being able to keep doing it, right? What kind of outcome is that going to get for you?
Financial freedom,
Financial freedom. And whenever you have that financial freedom, you're going to get to do what?
whatever the hell I want.
Whatever the hell you want, right? Absolutely. Is it okay to connect with that champion?
Yes,
Are you sure?
yes.
Take a moment and think about it, okay? And we'll come back to you because I'm not sure you're ready yet. You look like you hesitated just a minute. And I want you to feel confident and secure with connecting with her. There's something about her that you're afraid of. And I want to know what that is, okay?
Okay.
Are you able to talk about it now or you want to talk about it later?
I'm not sure what it is.
Okay, that's fine. There's something about you that's got something holding back, and we call that ecology, okay? So there's something about that balance that you're afraid of.
I'm just, afraid I can't do it.
Who can?
She can.
Yes, she can. Is it okay to let her take over?
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so whenever you think about her, Ruth in the red suit, she's motivated, she's excited, she's inspiring, and she's inspired. Why do you think she's inspiring?
Because she has that presence and she makes people feel good when they're with her.
Okay, great. Yeah, she does. I know, I've been around her. And what about that seems like you won't be able to do it?
I think I can do that part.
Okay. What part can't you do?
The confident and powerful part.
Why not? Who can if Red Ruth can't?
Her actual name is Ruthless.
Ruthless. I love it. Even better. Let's go with that name.
Because, not because she's ruthless to others, but because she's ruthless to her fears.
There you go. So how does Ruthless handle this confidence, this powerful aspect?
She just does it.
She just does it, right?
I keep hearing that she takes the fear and she turns it into confidence. That's what I keep hearing you say. I don't know if I'm the only one, but it sounds like the fear.
What do you guys think?
You have the fear, but Ruthless, she keeps going, I don't care, I'm confident through the fear. Like she gets her confidence with some of that fear. Is that?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Okay. So then, any reason why Ruthless can't do this?
No.
There's not, is there? Okay to let that person drive your bus?
Yeah.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, who wants to go next? Robert, you ready to go?
Why not?
All right, man.
Don't cry like I did.
Why not? I'm not afraid to cry.
Good.
Ruth,
on Facebook.
ask my wife how often I cry with clients. It happens a lot.
Let's see, powerful, helpful, inspiring, confident, credible.
What else?
Authentic, generous,
What else?
empathic.
Love it. You got a picture that pops in your head?
Mhm.
Okay. What does he look like?
Oh, he's probably wearing a cape.
Okay. Is it Superman?
No,
See-
I have
see
a couple.
Superman?
I actually have a couple. I'd rather narrow it down.
Okay.
I still come up with the one we talked about in coaching, which
Sure.
was the what's the guy, the character in New Amsterdam, the doctor, the
Yeah.
chief medical doctor,
Yeah.
chief of.
Yeah, I can't think of his name now.
Anyway, it's basically in a doctor's outfit with a little bit of scruffy goatee. Dr. Robert, there you go. Dr. Robert.
Doctor who?
Yeah.
Dr. Robert wearing, you got stethoscope on?
Scrubs, no stethoscope, scrubs and tennis shoes.
Scrubs and tennis shoes.
A lab coat. Blue scrubs, lab coat, tennis shoes.
Awesome. Now, when you think about this person, hospital room, where? Where's
Hallway,
the
jamming, running.
hallway, jamming, running, awesome. And running to do what?
What's that?
Running to do what?
Solve problems.
Solve problems.
And what he does that's unique and is outside the box solutions. So he breaks broken systems, shifts paradigms.
Okay, and whenever he's able to do that effectively, what do you see changing for people?
He's empowering others to step into their own greatness.
Okay, and what about that's even specialty?
That's why I roll. That's special to me. Just it helps me know that I've made an impact, a lasting impact that's long past me, that I have no control over.
An impact that outlasts you. Now, I am similar in why I'm motivated. I'll tell you why I am, and you can let me know if it resonates at all. Humans are storytellers by nature, and at some point the only thing left of me will be a story. And if I can do this, and I can impact others, and I can change lives in a positive way, then what remains of me is that.
So it's leaving a legacy?
It leaves a legacy for me. It leaves behind something that mattered long after I'm gone.
There's definitely some truth in that for me as well. There's also the emotional me that when I was first in sales where I really struggled. I think most people in different areas of life struggle. And maybe I'm trying to fix that kid in me that struggled and give alternatives to people other than struggle.
Awesome. And this guy, does he do that for people really easily, or is it a challenge?
Every day.
Every day. And when you do that, when you're able to be this person, if that person's driving your bus, do you know it?
Yes.
You do, right? How?
Shit happens.
Right.
I mean, just getting stuff done, or, you walk in a room and you're surrounded, magnetic, if you will. You hear the stories, the accolades, if you will, and I don't thrive off of accolades, but knowing that they're making progress for them feels really good.
Awesome. And any reason that this isn't who you are? Like, when do you find yourself not behaving this way? What type of activities do you find yourself doing where you're like, that's not who I am, that's not Dr. Rob?
No, I'm typically easily sidetracked. So I get busy doing other things that aren't that.
Yeah.
So that's where I struggle, is I get sidetracked, lose focus, get busy doing things that really don't matter.
Right. And what about Dr. Robert would never do that?
He doesn't have time for that shit.
He doesn't have time for that shit, that's right. So when you think about how powerful and helpful and credible he is, and how inspiring that guy is, and you really make that big and really vivid and bright, is that actually who you want in control?
Absolutely.
So if you had a winner's mindset, if you were intentional day to day, living day to day, who you're supposed to be, it would be Dr. Robert there. Awesome. Is it okay to be that guy?
No doubt.
No doubt. Awesome. Nicole?
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to pass?
Oh.
Or do you want to go? Emotional states that matter most to you.
I kind of have a long list, but I was going over this the other day. Confident.
Okay.
Witty.
Yeah.
Compassionate. Inspiring. Giving. Honest. Kind. Authentic. Talented, independent, and fearless. That kind of.
I like the fearless. Got a lot of people in here that like being fearless. It's awesome. So, whenever you think of her, anything come to your mind? Image, an ideal version of this person?
So this is odd because I've never been motivated to be a public speaker at all.
Sure.
But I envision myself behind a podium.
Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. This version of you, this character, just like Dr. Robert, he's not really wearing scrubs,
Right.
really wearing a white coat, but that's the imagery that comes to his mind. That's a story that his brain is telling to himself that makes him feel empowered. We all have that. So whatever that person's doing is fine. It doesn't mean you have to be doing that. Okay? So when you think about her standing at the podium, what's she wearing?
That I have nothing.
What?
Naked?
Standing there
I'm
naked?
naked, but like there's nothing different about her that like
Stands out?
that stands out.
No jewelry, nothing about that image that...
Nothing different from how I would.
Now I want you to really look at her now. She's standing there behind the podium,
Trust
right?
me, I've tried when you guys were talking about the red suit and the
I know.
like, and I was thinking, what am I picturing? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really have anything. as
Same
far as-
hair color?
Yes, like nothing different.
Nothing different about you from now. So are you wearing what you're wearing now? When you think about it now, and you really picture
my
this person
goodness.
standing at a podium,
Hard.
what's the podium look like? Start there.
Just, I guess a wooden podium.
It's wooden?
Mhm.
So like the big ones you would see in a church? Or like a small one that you could kind of take around and...
Yeah. a
More like the
little
small-
Kind of in between.
Okay, so kind of like an in-between podium. When you see yourself standing, are you behind the podium or are you in front?
Behind.
Okay, so you're behind the podium. Can you see your lower half?
No, I guess not.
Okay, so,
It's just
Bust,
a
chest
very
up?
vague image. That's
oh,
what
I
I'm
know.
saying. Like,
I know it
it's
is,
super
which is
vague.
why I wanted to get more crystal clear. Because as long as
Then I
it
feel like
stays
I'm
vague,
making it up as I go.
that's
Like,
okay if you
I-
are.
I-
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
If you
know,
can
because it
connect
doesn't
with the
feel-
imagery-
Because then it doesn't feel authentic.
I understand that. So whose brain would it be coming from if you were creating it now?
Somebody else?
Whose?
I don't know.
Whose? If the images that you're giving me as you're bringing them out, who are they coming from?
You mean the ones that I would have to make up to answer your questions if
Mhm.
you keep going?
Yeah. Yeah. Who would those have to come? Who would those have to come from? Those pictures, those ideas, those images. Where would they come from?
This other person, I guess?
Maybe this other person.
Maybe this other person?
Maybe the authentic you.
Maybe.
Possibly.
It's possible.
Right. So whenever you consider how witty she is, how compassionate she is, how inspiring she is, how giving she is, how honest and kind, how authentic and talented and fearless she is, do you begin to start to see her behind this podium at all when you think about how fearless she is, how inspiring she is?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever you think about her, do you hear her? Can you hear her voice in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of with Ruth in that I feel like I've been this person.
Okay. And what happened to
kind of
her?
lost touch with her.
Okay, where'd she go?
She got buried under a bunch of health crap and
Right. Exactly.
illness.
So then, how do we find her now? She's buried, so do we have to dig her up?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Gotta dig her up.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Dig her up. Now that she's up, and she's standing behind a podium because we've dug her up. She's up, and she's confident, and she's witty, and she's ready to go. She's fearless, and she's inspiring. So what does she look like?
Like me.
Yeah, she looks like you. Exactly like you. What's she wearing?
I guess she's wearing what I've got on today.
Okay, perfect. So then whenever you consider her now, standing behind the podium, being all of those things, authentic and witty and confident, inspiring. Authentic is really you. I can tell every time I say the word authentic, you light up. When you think about her now and being that authentic version of herself, what is good about what she's doing?
Because she has purpose.
Right? Sure. What is that purpose?
That purpose is to live a fulfilled life.
Right. And how do you do that?
I like, Oscar, was it? Or which?
Omar.
Omar, sorry.
It's okay.
Living instead
Oscar
of
comes
surviving,
sometimes,
I
too.
like that as well, what he said.
Living instead of surviving? What do you see
know, I feel
yourself?
like I've been in survival mode.
Right. And so when you are living and living a purposeful life,
Right.
what's that purpose look like? What are you doing? What do you see yourself actually doing?
Making, like, having an impact on others, like we talked, and
Okay.
I guess we all kind of have that.
Yeah. And how do you do that best?
I've always felt like, I think it does come down to being authentic. When you're authentic with other people, it allows them to be authentic with you.
Okay. So
open
you
up to
empower
you.
others to be authentic
Yes,
by being authentic?
yes.
So you do that through conversation, you do that through, how do you do it?
I feel like it's always a combination of body language, conversation.
Okay.
Tonality.
Tonality, right? So you see yourself being able to do this.
Yes.
Okay. And as you consider that in this person, how would that improve your life?
Because nobody wants to feel like they're selfish and only living for them.
Sure.
You want to feel like you're making a difference in other people and helping other people, or, I don't know,
Sure.
having an impact.
So you'll be able to have an impact.
Sure,
And that's valuable to you?
absolutely.
Okay. Why?
I guess I feel like that's an obvious thing.
Yeah, to you.
It's hard.
But nobody else in the room knows why it's obvious to you. Why is it so obvious to you? Why would that be, how would that change your life? In what positive way, if this person, this confident, witty, compassionate, inspiring, giving, honest, kind, authentic, talented, fearless woman was running the show, how would that improve things for you?
Didn't we already cover this?
Oh, we have. We have. Which is why it should be the easiest answer in the world.
I mean, because I'd be fulfilled and living the life that I know that I can live and want to live.
Right. And so how do you see that changing things? Like when you walk out the door, what changes immediately?
My mentality.
Your mentality shifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when your mentality shifts?
You change your behaviors.
Right. So what's going to happen the minute that you connect with this person? Your mindset's going to change, your mentality's going to change, and then your behaviors change.
Right.
What do you see your behaviors starting to do then?
Become this person.
Become this person, right? And so whenever you're that person and you're acting more like this, is that better for your life?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So whenever you consider this person living a fulfilled life, helping others, making an impact by being your authentic self and helping them extract their authentic selves,
Right.
how's that going to make you feel?
Great.
It's going to make you feel great? What does great look like to
I
you?
mean,
When you feel great.
fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
Yeah.
And does that give you an image in your mind of that person? She's still behind a podium? Is she still, what is she doing whenever she feels great, when she feels fulfilled?
Apparently, I'm not so good at the visualizing.
That's okay. And that's part of what these exercises are all about. Is that if you're not a visual person and you find yourself more connected to kinesthetics, then we need to find out what great feels like.
Okay.
And fulfilled. Because we can talk about the emotions and the feelings and we can get those really diagrammed and mapped out.
Right.
If the visuals don't hit, then the feelings will. So when you find yourself feeling great and feeling fulfilled, what does that help you do?
I think it helps, and it would help everything all the way around. I mean, it probably help my health, help
Yeah.
me feel better physically.
Sure.
I'd be happier,
Sure.
successful.
Right? Is it okay to connect with that and let her run the show for a while?
Well, yeah.
Totally
I like
okay?
that.
Happy to do that?
Yes.
Awesome. So then what I want you guys to do is that every one of us came in here today with an idea of an area of our lives we'd like to improve upon. There's something that we don't like about our behaviors, our mentality, our mindset in some area, in some way. It needs a shift. That person also comes to your mind as something. When you think of that person that's struggling, it has a connection to. It doesn't look like this person at all. When you consider that person, I want you to smash that image with this person. that area of your life where you're struggling, where you're failing, your hero already exists to eliminate that problem in your life. But you've been thinking about it like it's a big problem and you haven't been looking at the solution. Your solution is in your hero. That's the answer to your problems. That's the answer to the mindset. So when you consider that person, that weak person, that fearful person, that unmotivated person, that person that's insecure and doesn't have confidence, it has a very real image, feeling, connection. You smash it with this. You don't let that become something that you focus your attention on. You focus on the solution, the answer version of you. The image that you have in your mind, that's the champion. And that's a winner's mindset. And that's how to live intentionally about it. Take every day to connect with your hero and let them drive your bus. All right? Everybody feel like they got something out of this? Give yourselves a hand. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.